Captain Han Juo stared at the stars through the viewscreen of the Daybreak asterisk. The experimental ship hummed around him. The feeling of being the first human to test a faster-than-light drive made his heart beat faster. After years of training and preparation, this moment would change human history forever. "Systems all green, Captain," said the ship's eye. "FTL drive ready for activation." Han took a deep breath. "Send the final message to Mission Control. Tell them we are starting the test." The Daybreak sat at the edge of the solar system, far beyond Pluto. Earth was just a tiny dot from here. Han thought about all the people watching and waiting. He pressed the button. The stars seemed to stretch around him as the FTL drive powered up. The ship shook slightly. Then everything became calm. The test worked. Han smiled. The flight recorders were capturing every moment of this historic achievement. I begin scanning the area. Let's see where we... A loud alarm cut him off. Something big had appeared on the sensors. "Unknown vessel detected," the AI said. "It's massive." Han's smile disappeared. "Show me." The view screen changed. Han's mouth fell open. A ship at least 20 times the size of the Daybreak hovered nearby. Its shape reminded him of a giant arrowhead. The surface gleamed with lights and strange markings. "Attempt communication," Han ordered, his training taking over despite his shock. The AI worked for a moment. They're responding with a visual signal. The screen changed again. Han found himself looking at an alien. Its skin was pale blue with scale-like patterns. Large black eyes stared at him from a face with no nose, just breathing slits. The alien wore what looked like armor with symbols Han didn't recognize. "This is Captain Han Juo of Earth's research vessel Daybreak asterisk," Han said clearly. "We come in peace." The alien tilted its head. After a moment, words came through the speakers. The translation wasn't perfect, but Han understood. "I am Commander Kev of the Solari Dominion," the alien said. "You have entered claimed space with unauthorized technology. Your primitive species should not possess FTL capability." Han frowned. "We meant no offense. We are explorers, seeking peaceful contact with other." "Silence," Commander Kev said. "Your species has been under observation. You were not scheduled for contact for another 50 years. Your presence here violates Dominion protocols." Han's stomach tightened. "We didn't know this space was claimed. We can return to our system immediately." "Unacceptable. Your vessel and its technology must be surrendered to the Solari Dominion. You will be studied." Han straightened his back. "I cannot surrender my ship. We have no hostile intentions, but we have the right to explore space and develop our own technology." The alien's face changed in a way Han couldn't read. Defiance. From a species that has barely left its own planet. Humans are even more primitive than our studies suggested. "Being new doesn't make us primitive," Han said firmly. "We offer friendship, not submission." Commander Kev made a sharp gesture. "Then you offer us nothing of value. Your technology will be taken. Your resistance is noted." The screen went black. Immediately, alarms blared across the Daybreak asterisk. "They're charging weapons," the AI warned. Han jumped into action. Evasive maneuvers. Charge the emergency jump system. The first shot from the Solari ship hit the Daybreak asterisk before Han could finish his orders. The ship rocked violently. Sparks flew from control panels. Han was thrown against the wall. As a second blast hit, Han managed to reach the emergency console. Blood dripped from a cut on his forehead. He pressed the emergency protocol buttons in sequence. "Transmitting all data to Earth," the AI confirmed. "Emergency jump charging." The Daybreak asterisk shuddered as more shots hit it. Systems failed one by one. Han knew the ship wouldn't survive much longer. "Jump," he shouted as the lights flickered around him. The stars stretched once more. Then everything went black. Han opened his eyes slowly. His head hurt. The lights around him were strange, too bright, and blue-tinted. This wasn't the daybreak asterisk. He tried to move, but his arms and legs were held down by metal bands. "The human is awake," a voice said. Han turned his head. HFY stood nearby, wearing a white coat instead of armor. This one was smaller than Commander Kev, with lighter blue skin. "I am Scientist Raz," the alien said. "You are on our research ship." Han remembered the attack. "My ship. Destroyed after we took you," Raz said simply. "You are the first human we have captured in such good condition." The words made Han's blood run cold. First, there were others. Raz touched a control panel. The bands on Han's right arm loosened. "Your kind is interesting to study. Primitive but unusual." Han sat up slowly, wincing from pain. The room looked like a lab. Strange tools and screens lined the walls. Han noticed containers with what looked like human body parts. "You're monsters," Han said. Raz made a clicking sound. "We are scientists. Your species is merely a subject. Soon, we will visit your planet for more samples." Han felt sick. "Earth will defend itself." "With what? Your weapons are toys to us." Raz turned away to study a screen. "Rest. More tests tomorrow." When Raz left, Han tested his restraints. His right arm was free, but everything else was still tightly bound. He looked around for anything that might help him escape. "Don't bother," a quiet voice said in Korean. "I've tried everything." Han turned his head sharply. In the corner of the room, in another bed, was a woman. Her face was thin, and her dark hair was cut short. She looked weak but alert. "Who are you?" Han asked, surprised to hear his own language. "Kim Minji, pilot on the Morning Star mission." She spoke carefully, as if each word took effort. "We disappeared 6 months ago, testing the first version of the FTL drive." Han's eyes widened. "The Morning Star *. Everyone thought you were lost in an accident." "No accident," Minji said bitterly. "These blue devils found us and took us. I'm the only one left now." Han felt a wave of anger. "How many ships have they attacked?" "3 that I know of. They watch us. Wait until we test new technology, then they grab it." Minji looked at him closely. "Your ship must have been important for them to bring you alive." Han nodded. "The daybreak asterisk, our first true FTL ship." Minji managed a weak smile. "So it worked." "Yes. Before they attacked us." Han lowered his voice. "I sent all the data back to Earth. They'll know we didn't just disappear." Minji's eyes lit up with hope for the first time. "Then Earth knows about the aliens. If my emergency transmission got through." Han looked around the room again. "I need to find a way out of here." "They're arrogant," Minji said. "They think humans are stupid. That's their weakness." Han noticed how Minji's restraints were looser than his. "They don't see you as a threat anymore." "No. I pretend to be weaker than I am." She moved her arms slightly, showing she had more freedom than it seemed. "I've been learning their systems. Their computers are partly biological. They use their own body chemistry to control things." Han thought for a moment. "But they must have regular controls too." "Yes. For maintenance. I've watched them." Minji glanced at the door. "They're coming back soon. Listen carefully." Over the next hour, as the ship's lights dimmed for their night cycle, Minji told Han everything she had learned. The HFY were old and powerful. They ruled many worlds, but they were also stuck in their ways. They couldn't imagine that primitive humans could threaten them. "They plan to attack Earth soon," Minji said. "They think humans are developing too quickly. They see us as a future problem." Han felt determination replace his fear. "Then we need to warn Earth." Minji nodded. "I have a plan, but we'll only get one chance." As they heard footsteps approaching, Minji quickly showed Han a small metal object she had hidden in her bed. "Tomorrow," she whispered. "Be ready." Han nodded and pretended to be asleep as the door slid open. He now had something he didn't have before. The next day, Scientist Raz returned with 2 guards. They took blood from Han and scanned his brain. Han pretended to be scared and weak. He watched how they used the computers. Every touch, every movement. He memorized it all. When the aliens left, Minji whispered, "Tonight." During 3rd shift, the guards changed then. Han nodded. "The metal piece you showed me. Part of a medical tool I stole," she said. "It can open these locks." They waited for hours. The ship's lights dimmed. The sounds of movement outside their room became less frequent. "Now," Minji said. She pulled out the metal tool and freed herself completely. Then she moved to Han's bed and worked on his restraints. The metal bands clicked open. Han sat up, rubbing his wrists. "What's the plan?" "First, we need their data," Minji said. She went to a computer panel on the wall. "They have maps of their territory, their fleet positions, and even their attack plans for Earth." Han watched as Minji used the panel. She had clearly studied the solar system well. "How do we get out of here?" "The scout ships are 3 levels down," she explained. "Small and fast. Easy to fly. I've watched them train new pilots." The door slid open, and they froze. But the hallway was empty. They moved quickly, staying close to the walls. Han followed Minji's lead. She had clearly planned this escape for months. At a main computer terminal, Minji stopped. "Watch for guards," she whispered. Her fingers flew over the controls. "I'm downloading everything. Star maps, fleet data, weapons information." Han kept watch of the corner. His heart pounded in his chest. Every sound made him tense. "Got it," Minji said, holding up a small crystal device. "This has everything Earth will need." They continued down, using service passages to avoid the main areas. Twice they had to hide as Solari walked by. Once, Han had to pull Minji into a dark corner as a patrol passed. Finally, they reached the hangar bay. 5 small scout ships sat on the landing pad. They were sleek and pointed, like arrowheads. "That one," Minji pointed. "It's fueled and ready." As they moved toward the ship, an alarm suddenly blared. Red lights flashed throughout the hangar. "They know we're gone," Han said. "Run," Minji shouted. They sprinted across the open floor. The ship's door was already open. Han jumped in first, then helped Minji aboard. The controls were strange, but similar enough to human designs. "Can you fly it?" Minji asked. Han studied the panel. "Yes, it's not that different from our test simulators." He pressed what looked like the start sequence. The ship hummed to life. Through the view screen, Han saw Solari guards running into the hangar, weapons raised. "Hold on," Han called. He pushed the thrusters forward. The scout ship shot out of the hangar into open space. Behind them, the Solari research vessel loomed large. Smaller ships began to launch in pursuit. "They're following us," Minji said, watching the rear sensors. Han smiled grimly. "Let's see how good their pilots really are." He turned the ship toward a nearby asteroid field. The scout ship responded perfectly to his commands. It was faster and more nimble than any human craft he had ever flown. The Solari ships followed, firing energy weapons that lit up space around them. Han weaved between asteroids, using them as shields. "They didn't expect a human to fly this well," Minji said, watching the pursuers struggle to keep up. Several crashed into asteroids or each other. Han pushed the ship harder, testing its limits. "They underestimate us. That's their biggest mistake." They cleared the asteroid field with only 2 Solari ships still in pursuit. Han checked the control panel. "There's an FTL drive on this ship," he said. "If I can figure out how to set coordinates for Earth." Minji pointed to a section of the panel. "Here, I saw them use this system." Together, they worked out the navigation. A blast from one of the pursuing ships rocked them. "No more time," Han said. He activated the FTL drive. The stars stretched around them. The Solari ships disappeared from view. They were heading home, with vital information that might save humanity. The stolen Solari scout ship dropped out of FTL near Earth's moon. Han immediately sent out a distress signal. His hand shook as he worked the alien controls. "This is Captain Hanju and pilot Kim Minji. We are in an alien vessel. Do not shoot. I repeat, do not shoot." For several tense minutes, there was no response. Then the radio crackled. "Captain Han, this is Lunar Base Command. We thought you were dead." The voice sounded shocked. "Nearly was," Han replied. "Request immediate landing and emergency meeting with Earth Defense Command. We have critical information about an alien threat." Military ships quickly surrounded them and escorted the alien craft to a secure facility on the moon. When Han and Minji stepped out, they were met by armed soldiers and medical staff. "The ship is real," one official whispered. "It's actually real." General Kang, head of Earth Defense, stepped forward. His face was stern, but his eyes showed disbelief. "Captain Han, your emergency transmission reached us 3 weeks ago. Half the world's governments thought it was a hoax." Han held up the crystal data device. "This is no hoax, sir. Earth is in danger." Within hours, Han and Minji were in a secure briefing room on Earth. Leaders from major nations watched via secure video as they told their story. Minji explained how her ship had been captured months earlier. Han described his encounter with Commander Kev and their narrow escape. "The Solari consider us a pest," Han said. "A problem to be eliminated before we grow stronger." Many faces looked doubtful. "You expect us to believe advanced aliens are threatened by us?" asked one skeptical official. Minji stepped forward. "They fear what we might become. They've watched human progress for decades. Our rate of technological advancement scares them." Han connected the crystal device to a computer. The room darkened as images appeared on the main screen. Solari ships, star maps, weapons schematics. "This is their invasion plan," Han said, pointing to a tactical display. "They will attack Earth within 3 months." The room fell silent. Dr. Li Junho, a military scientist, studied the alien technology with wide eyes. "This is extraordinary, but there's something strange about their systems." "What do you mean?" General Kang asked. "Their technology is advanced, yes, but..." Dr. Li looked up. "It's remarkably fixed, standardized. They haven't significantly changed their basic designs in what appears to be centuries." Han nodded. Minji noticed that too. "The Solari are set in their ways. They don't adapt quickly." "That could be a weakness," Dr. Li said, his mind clearly racing with possibilities. General Kang stood. "We need to prepare. All nations must work together." Within days, the Earth Defense Alliance was formed. Nations shared military resources and scientific knowledge for the first time in human history. The alien scout ship was studied day and night. Han was appointed military advisor. He worked with pilots around the world, teaching them what he had learned about Solari tactics. "They're predictable," he told his students. "They rely on superior technology, not creativity." Minji worked with engineering teams, helping them understand Solari systems. Her months in captivity had given her unique insights. Dr. Li made a breakthrough after studying the Solari shield technology. "Their shields operate on a fixed frequency," he announced during a briefing. "If we can match that frequency and then reverse it, we could disable their shields." Han finished. Factories around the world began producing new weapons based on Dr. Li's discoveries. Space stations were converted into defense platforms. Old satellites were repurposed as early warning systems. One evening, Han stood at a window, looking up at the stars. Minji joined him. "Do you think we have a chance?" she asked quietly. Han thought about the Solari, their power, their arrogance, their rigid thinking. "Yes," he said firmly. "They expect us to be easy prey. They expect us to surrender or die." He turned to face her. "They have no idea what humans can do when backed into a corner." Minji smiled slightly. They'll learn. In space, beyond Earth's atmosphere, new defense systems came online. Humanity prepared for war. And somewhere out there, the Solari fleet was coming, still believing they faced a primitive, doomed species. They would soon discover their mistake. The early warning system detected the Solari ships 2 months after Han and Minji's return. Earth had prepared as much as possible in that short time. Now the moment of truth had arrived. 12 Solari warships entering the solar system, announced the officer at the main control station. The Global Defense Command Center fell silent. General Kang turned to Han. Are we ready? Han looked at the display showing Earth's defenses. New shield systems protected major cities. Fighter squadrons waited on high alert. Orbital platforms were armed with weapons based on Solari technology. As ready as we can be, Han answered. Screens showed the Solari fleet approaching Mars. The alien ships were massive, shaped like arrowheads, just like the one Han had encountered. They're sending a transmission, the communications officer said. The main screen flickered. Commander Kev appeared, looking exactly as Han remembered him. People of Earth, Kev said, your defiance is noted. Your stolen technology and fugitives will be recovered. Surrender now, and your species may be permitted to live under Solari rule. General Kang stepped forward. This is General Kang of the Earth Defense Alliance. We reject your terms. Earth belongs to humans. Commander Kev's face showed no emotion. Then you have chosen extinction. The screen went dark. All stations, battle positions, General Kang ordered. Execute Plan Thunderbolt. Captain Park Sung-ho, leader of Earth's first space fighter squadron, received the order in his command ship near the moon. All pilots, prepare to engage, he told his squadron. Remember your training. The Solari ships moved with perfect formation toward Earth. They fired their first shots at the orbital defense platforms. Energy beams cut through space. But Earth was ready. The platforms activated shields that pulsed at changing frequencies. Dr. Lee's breakthrough. The Solari weapons hit the shields but could not break through. They're confused, Han said, watching the tactical display. Their weapons should have destroyed those platforms easily. The Earth fighters launched, led by Captain Park. They were small and fast, using engines based on the stolen scout ship design. The fighters swarmed around the larger Solari vessels. Target their weapon ports with frequency-matched missiles, Captain Park ordered. The human fighters moved in patterns the Solari had never seen before. While alien ships maintained rigid formations, humans attacked from multiple angles, constantly changing their approach. They're not adapting, Minji observed from her station. They're following standard attack patterns. The first Solari ship was hit by several frequency-matched missiles. Its shields flickered and failed. Earth defense platforms fired, their beams striking the exposed ship. The Solari vessel exploded in a ball of blue fire. First kill confirmed, shouted an officer. The Solari responded by launching their own fighters. The smaller alien ships engaged the human squadron. What followed surprised even Han. Human pilots flew in ways the Solari could not predict. They used the moon's gravity to slingshot their ships. They played dead, then ambushed pursuers. They communicated and changed tactics on the fly. Squadron 7 needs backup, Captain Park called over the radio. 3 of his fighters were being chased by Solari ships. On our way, responded another squadron leader, using the sunblind approach. 5 human fighters swung around, using the sun's glare to hide their approach. They caught the Solari ships from behind and destroyed them. In the command center, Han and Minji watched with growing hope. It's working, Han said. They can't adapt to our unpredictable tactics. The battle reached its peak when the Solari flagship moved forward. It was twice the size of the other ships and bristled with weapons. All forces, focus on the flagship, General Kang ordered. Captain Park led the attack. His fighter dodged energy beams as he approached the massive ship. His target was the main shield generator, identified from the stolen Solari data. For Earth, he said quietly as he fired his last missiles. The flagship's shields collapsed. Earth's defense platforms fired together. The massive Solari ship shuddered, then broke apart. The remaining Solari ships began to retreat. "They're running," Minji said in disbelief. Han smiled. The Solari never expected to lose ships. They're not prepared for defeat. As the alien fleet jumped to FTL, cheers erupted in the command center. Earth had won its first battle against the Solari. But Han knew this was just the beginning. The Solari would return with a bigger fleet. Yet for the first time, he believed humanity might actually survive this war. And maybe, just maybe, even win it. 2 weeks after Earth's victory, Han sat with Dr. Lee in a quiet room, studying the star maps from the stolen Solari data. "The Solari controls so much space," Han said, pointing to the glowing map. "But look here, these systems are marked differently." Dr. Lee leaned closer. "They're labeled as restricted or quarantined. Why would the Solari avoid these areas?" Han thought for a moment. What if they're not the only advanced species out there? What if some others have resisted them? The idea grew quickly. If Earth could find allies among the stars, they might stand a better chance against the Solari when they returned with a larger fleet. Han brought his theory to General Kang. "Sir, I believe we should send a mission to this star system." He pointed to a location marked as Restricted Zone B on the Solari map. "It's closest to us, and the Solari seem to avoid it." General Kang frowned. "You want to look for more aliens. The ones we've met so far haven't been friendly." "The enemy of my enemy is my friend," Han said. "Whatever is in that system, the Solari don't like it. That might make them our allies." After much debate, Earth's leaders approved the mission. The stolen Solari scout ship was prepared with Earth's best improvements. Han would lead the mission, with Minji as co-pilot and Dr. Lee to handle first contact if they found anyone. The small team departed Earth a week later. The improved scout ship performed better than expected, reaching the mysterious star system in just 5 days. "Scanning the system," Minji said as they dropped out of FTL. "Third planet shows signs of advanced technology." "Wait." She looked up, surprised. "Something just scanned us." A voice came through their communication system, speaking in a musical language none of them understood. Then it switched to several other languages before trying broken English. "Identify. You, please." "Not Solari." Han responded quickly. "We are humans from Earth. We are not Solari. We seek allies against them." There was a long pause. Then the voice returned, clearer now. "Approach coordinates being sent. Follow exactly. Any deviation will be unfortunate." They followed the instructions, flying toward the third planet. As they got closer, they saw it was beautiful, covered in blue oceans and lush green land. But what shocked them most was what orbited the planet. Massive, hidden space stations that only became visible as they approached. "Their stealth technology is incredible," Dr. Lee said in awe. "The Solari probably don't even know these are here." They docked at one of the stations. When the door opened, they met the Tealer for the first time. The aliens were tall and slender, with smooth golden skin and large eyes. They moved with grace that made humans seem clumsy by comparison. "I am Ambassador Noor," said one Tealer, stepping forward. "We have hidden from the Solari for 3 centuries. How have you found us?" Han explained how they had stolen Solari data and noticed the restricted areas. He told them about Earth's recent victory and their desperate need for allies. Ambassador Noor listened carefully. "The Solari fear any species that might one day challenge them. They tried to destroy us long ago. We escaped and hid, using technology they cannot detect. Will you help us?" Han asked directly. The Teller conferred among themselves in their musical language. Finally, Ambassador Noor turned back to the humans. "For centuries, we have hidden while the Solari conquered world after world. Perhaps it is time to fight. The ambassador's large eyes seemed to glow. We have advanced technology. You have shown that the Solari can be defeated through unexpected tactics. Together, we might succeed where neither could alone. That day, the first interspecies alliance was formed. The Teller shared their advanced stealth and shield technology. Humans shared their tactics and strategies. News of the alliance spread through Solari space on secret channels. Other species who had been conquered or were in hiding began to reach out. Small rebellions sparked on Solari-controlled worlds. We've started something bigger than we imagined, Minji said as they prepared to return to Earth with Teller representatives. Han nodded. The Solari created their own worst nightmare when they attacked us. They never considered that their enemies might join forces. What had begun as Earth's desperate fight for survival was becoming a galactic revolution. 3 months after the alliance with the Teller formed, Earth's early warning systems detected a massive fleet entering the solar system. This was no scouting force. This was the main Solari Armada. 57 warships, General Kang announced grimly in the command center, including 3 super dreadnoughts. Han studied the tactical display. The Solari fleet was arranged in perfect formation, approaching with confidence. They expected to crush Earth this time. They still think this will be easy, Han said. They haven't learned. Earth was ready. The Teller had helped upgrade Earth's defenses with their advanced stealth technology. Hidden platforms and minefields waited for the Solari. Human and Teller ships stood ready. Ambassador Noor stood beside Han. It is time to reveal our new weapons, the Teller said. The ones no Solari has ever seen. The command center buzzed with activity as final preparations were made. Dr. Li entered, looking tired but excited. The frequency jammers are online, he reported, and the hybrid ships are ready for launch. These new vessels combined human design with Teller technology. They were smaller than Solari warships, but far more nimble. Han would lead the main attack squadron in the flagship Vengeance *. As the Solari fleet approached Earth's orbit, they transmitted their message. Humans of Earth, your resistance has ended. Surrender now, or be destroyed completely. Earth sent no reply. Instead, the trap was sprung. Hidden mines activated throughout the space between Mars and Earth. They attached to Solari ships and disrupted their shield frequencies. At the same time, stealth platforms revealed themselves and opened fire. The Solari formation broke for the first time. Their perfect lines fell apart as ships tried to evade the unexpected attack. Launch all squadrons, General Kang ordered. Han and Minji boarded the Vengeance * with a crew of both humans and Teller. Hundreds of hybrid fighters launched alongside them. All ships follow attack pattern chaos, Han commanded. This was a new tactic, one where each ship followed its own random path rather than flying in formation. No computer could predict their movements. The battle in Earth's orbit was unlike anything seen before. Solari ships fired their weapons in coordinated volleys, but the human Teller ships were never where they were supposed to be. They attacked from all angles, appearing and disappearing using Teller stealth technology. They can't track us, Minji said from her station on the Vengeance *. Their targeting systems are designed for predictable movements. One by one, Solari ships fell. The smaller ones first, then even the larger warships began to falter under the relentless, unpredictable assault. But then the largest Solari vessel moved forward. It was the command ship, twice the size of any other in their fleet. It began to glow with energy. They're charging their planet killer weapon, Ambassador Noor warned. It can destroy entire continents. Han felt cold fear for the first time since the battle began. This weapon was beyond anything they had prepared for. The energy readings were off the charts. All ships, focus fire on that vessel, he ordered. Every human and Teller ship attacked the Solari command ship, but its shields were too strong. The weapon continued charging. Then Han had an idea. Dr. Lee, is there any way to redirect energy rather than trying to block it? Dr. Lee thought quickly. Yes, the Taylor reflection technology, if we can modify it to work on this scale. Ambassador Noor understood immediately. We need to create a reflection field between the weapon and Earth. Working together, the human and Taylor engineers quickly reprogrammed their defensive systems. 3 large defense platforms moved into position. The Solari weapon fired. A massive beam of energy shot toward Earth. Everyone held their breath. The reflection field activated. The beam hit it and bounced back. The redirected energy struck the Solari command ship. Its shields failed instantly under its own weapon's power. The massive vessel exploded in a blinding flash. The remaining Solari ships began to retreat. They had lost more than half their fleet to a strategy they couldn't comprehend. In the command center, cheers erupted. Earth had survived the Solari's greatest attack. Han watched the enemy ships flee. "This isn't just a victory," he said quietly. "This is a turning point." General Kang nodded. "They'll be back." "Yes," Han agreed. "But next time, we won't be waiting for them." He looked at Ambassador Noor, who understood his meaning. The time had come to take the fight to the Solari. 1 month after Earth's victory, a massive fleet gathered near Jupiter. Ships from Earth stood side by side with vessels from the Taylor and 5 other species who had joined the alliance. The coalition fleet was ready to attack the Solari homeland. Han stood on the bridge of the Liberation Earth's new flagship. It combined the best technology from all allied species. Minji served as his second in command. "All ships report ready," she said, checking the status displays. Han nodded. "Time to show the Solari what happens when you unite the galaxy against you." The fleet commanders gathered for one final meeting. Ambassador Noor represented the Taylor. Other alien leaders joined them, each from worlds the Solari had attacked or conquered. "Our target is the Solari home system," Han said, showing the star map. "According to our intelligence, they've called back most of their forces to defend it." "They're scared," said Krell, a reptilian commander from a world that had been under Solari control for centuries. For the first time, they feared defeat. The plan was complex, but played to each species' strengths. The Taylor would use their stealth technology to disable the outer defense systems. Earth ships would lead the main attack with their unpredictable tactics. Other allies would target specific Solari weaknesses they had discovered over years of oppression. "Remember," Han told them, "the Solari rely on rigid plans and overwhelming force. They can't adapt quickly to the unexpected. That's how we'll win." The massive fleet jumped to FTL together. The journey to Solari space took 3 days. When they arrived at the edge of the home system, sensors immediately detected defensive stations and patrol ships. "They'd fortified everything," Minji observed. "Their home system is a fortress." "As expected," Han replied. "Begin Phase 1. Taylor stealth ships moved ahead of the main fleet. They slipped past Solari sensors and attached jamming devices to key defense platforms. One by one, sections of the Solari early warning system went dark. The Solari noticed too late. By the time they realized what was happening, the coalition fleet had pushed deep into their system. "Main defense fleet detected," reported the sensor officer. "They're moving to intercept." The Solari home fleet was enormous. Over 200 warships arranged in their traditional battle formation. They still outnumbered the coalition forces. "They haven't learned," Han said with a grim smile. "They're still using the same tactics." He gave the order to execute Operation Chaos Storm. The coalition ships broke into seemingly random patterns. Some accelerated to attack speed. Others dropped back. Some shut down engines and drifted silently. The Solari commanders couldn't track the erratic movements. Their targeting computers, designed for predictable enemy patterns, failed to lock on effectively. "This is Commander Tark of the Solari Defense Force," came a transmission. "Surrender now or be destroyed." Han recognized the voice pattern. It was similar to Commander Kev's. All Solari commanders sounded the same, used the same threats, followed the same playbook. "This is Captain Han Ju of Earth," he replied. "We offered peace once. You chose war. Now you will face the consequences." The battle erupted across the Solari home system. Coalition ships attacked from all directions, using tactics the Solari had never seen before. Meanwhile, Minji led a special mission. She commanded a small team of infiltration specialists in stealth ships. Their target was the Solari Command Center on the largest moon of the home planet. Approaching target, Minji reported over the secure channel. "No signs they detected us." Her team included humans and aliens who had lived under Solari rule. They knew the weaknesses in Solari security systems better than anyone. The team landed and entered the facility using access codes from liberated worlds. Inside, they moved toward the central control room. "Remember," Minji told them, "we need to disable their command structure, not destroy it. Plant the devices exactly as planned." Back in space, the battle reached its peak. The Solari fleet was in disarray, unable to coordinate against the chaotic coalition attack. Ships from Earth, led by Captain Park, broke through the main defensive line. "The path to the home planet is open," Park reported to Han. Han ordered the final phase of the attack. "All ships target their planetary shield generators. Prepare the message for broadcast on all Solari frequencies." As coalition forces approached the Solari homeworld, Minji's team completed their mission. They planted devices that disrupted the Solari command network, leaving their fleet without central direction. For the first time in their history, the Solari faced an enemy at the heart of their empire. And for the first time, they knew what it meant to fear defeat. The Solari homeworld hung like a blue-green jewel in space. For the first time in their 5,000-year history, enemy ships filled the skies above their planet. The coalition fleet had broken through all outer defenses. Now they surrounded the Solari capital world. On the bridge of the Liberation Asterisk, Han prepared to send his final message to the Solari Supreme Council. "Open all channels," he ordered. "Make sure every Solari can hear this." The communications officer nodded. "Ready, Captain." Han stood tall. "This is Captain Han Ju of Earth, speaking for the Coalition of Free Worlds. Your military is defeated. Your command centers are under our control. We demand your immediate and unconditional surrender." There was a long silence. Then a reply came from the planet. "This is High Commander Zol of the Solari Supreme Council. We request terms." Minji, who had returned from her successful mission, looked at Han with wide eyes. "They're actually surrendering." The Solari had never surrendered before. They had always been the conquerors, never the conquered. "Our terms are simple," Han continued. "All subjugated worlds will be freed immediately. All Solari forces will withdraw from occupied territories, and the Solari will never again attack another species." The coalition fleet waited tensely for the response. Minutes passed. Finally, High Commander Zol replied, "We accept your terms. The Solari Dominion surrenders." Cheers erupted across the coalition ships. Species that had suffered under Solari rule for generations could hardly believe what they were hearing. Han ordered a delegation to land on the Solari homeworld to formalize the surrender. He led it himself, along with Minji, Ambassador Noor, and representatives from all coalition species. The Solari capital city was unlike anything humans had seen before, towers of crystal and metal reaching into the clouds. The Solari Supreme Council waited in their grand hall, their blue faces showing confusion and shock. High Commander Zol stepped forward. "How is this possible? You were primitive, weak. How did you defeat us?" Han looked at the Solari leader calmly. "You measured strength by technology alone. That was your mistake." "What do you mean?" asked another council member. "The Solari stopped adapting centuries ago," Han explained. "You believed your way was perfect, so you never changed. Humans are always changing, always finding new ways to solve problems." Ambassador Noor added, And you made enemies of everyone you met, while humans sought allies. Together, we were stronger than any one species could be alone. The formal surrender was signed. As part of the agreement, a coalition team would remain on the Solari homeworld to oversee the transition and ensure all occupied worlds were freed. 1 month later, Han stood on the observation deck of the Liberation looking out at Earth as they returned home. Minji joined him. "It's hard to believe it's over," she said. Han nodded. "Not over, just beginning." Representatives from 50 formerly oppressed worlds had gathered on Earth for the first Galactic Council meeting. Earth, once an isolated planet on the edge of the galaxy, was now central to a new alliance of free worlds. "They're calling you the greatest hero in human history," Minji told him. Han smiled slightly. "I was just the first human to meet aliens. Everything after that was all of us working together." "What do you think the Solari learned from all this?" Minji asked. "That true strength isn't about having the biggest ships or the most advanced weapons," Han replied. "It's about creativity, adaptability, and cooperation, the things that make humans human." In the years that followed, the galaxy changed dramatically. The Solari, under the guidance of the Coalition, began the difficult process of reform. They learned to work with other species instead of trying to rule them. Earth became known throughout the galaxy not as conquerors, but as liberators. Human adaptability and creativity were valued by all species. Ships from Earth explored far beyond known space, always seeking new friends rather than new territories to control. And whenever a new species wondered if humans were worth knowing, they would hear the story of how the first human in space met aliens and started a war they'd regret. Han and Minji continued to serve as ambassadors between worlds. Sometimes, late at night, they would look up at the stars and remember how close humanity had come to extinction. "What do you think would have happened if the Solari had just offered friendship that first day?" Minji once asked. Han thought about this for a moment. "Then we would have been friends." He smiled. The Solari thought attacking us was their right as a superior species. Instead, it was the biggest mistake in their history.